It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
Another one on B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast 186 Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of September the 30th through October the 2nd, 2022. And man, what a great interview I just had with Native Habitat Project founder and owner Kyle Lybarger. And I tell you what, Native Plants, that boy's doing a great job. And I hope y'all enjoyed listening to him and practice native plants. I tell you, y'all got to learn them. It's something that we all really need to do. Kevin has in Livingston rodeoing. We got filling in for him, Mr. Shane Jones. How you doing, Shane?
Doing great, guys. How y'all doing this evening?
Joe Allen, how you doing, my friend?
Doing
I understand we got our first episode of Cooking at Dunn's Camp done this week.
We do. We got it in the books, and you're going to work your magic with the editing. But back on the native plant thing, that is something I love, is riding down the road and spotting stuff out on the side of the road growing that's, different and unique. And, I studied a lot of stuff at Auburn, too, when I did go to school, and that was a whole lot of fun.
Well, that's what Kyle is doing. His goal is to promote restoration and management of native ecosystems, to get all this ornamental stuff, like all this stuff they buying from China and everywhere, and go back to native ecosystems. And he's doing a great job. Young man, very smart, and it was just a great conversation, and I know y'all enjoyed it as much as I do. We ain't got much going on this weekend. Got the big college rodeo going on in Livingston. I reckon that's what Kevin is doing today. He's up there getting ready for that this weekend. It will start tomorrow night, the 29th, through the 1st at the Hines Spear Rodeo Complex in Livingston, Alabama. Gates open at 6 o'clock, and the rodeo begins at 7 o'clock. They're going to start that great Alabama 650 paddle race Saturday from Wise Lake. So they'll be here in about 3 days, coming through.
Yep.
And people ask me about this. This is a paddle race. This is not a pleasure trip.
I got a question. Do they give a prize for last place? Because I would get in it and probably get that last place prize.
Well, here's the key, Joe Allen. They got 10 days to finish a race. I don't think you can do it in 10 days.
It takes months because I'm going to stop and talk to everybody and cook out on the sandbar. So it'd take me a while.
Well, you can keep up with them. And, of course, I'll be keeping up with them on my Facebook page. But let's cheer them on when they come through. If they come by, if you got a house on the river, cheer them on, get clapping and applaud. But these are top world athletes doing this now.
I need to know when they coming by my house. Need a timeline on that.
I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to find out when they come by. We go down there and we'll put the drone up there and we get some drone shots when they come by your house. Yeah. So we want to welcome them all to through the Alabama black belt. So
if they swing through, we'll give them a plate of fish.
They ain't gonna stop. I'm telling you, they ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna stop. Got a good crowd on here tonight. Old Travis, Hudson, Wayne, Edgeworth, Shane sure is teaching y'all a lot about crappie fishing. And yes, Wayne, we do need it, and he is. And we're gonna talk about that when we get to the crappie fishing report. Noonan, they do not lock through the dam. What they do. Some of them are tandem teams and then some of them are individuals, but they have to stop at the Miller's Ferry campground and they load those kayaks up and they take them around the Cobb's Land and go around the dam. At least that's the way they do here. Now, I don't know how they do it everywhere else, but they take them around the dam.
Well, they'd have to because the dams aren't.
They don't know when they'll be coming through. Because they're gonna spread out. It's 15 of them, and some of them will come. They're gonna spread out. So, but it is on their website. It is a where you can keep up with each one of them. They got a GPS on them. You know exactly where they are and when they'll be coming by your place. So I'll share all that on my Facebook page. When they start Saturday. So they'll start Saturday morning and it'll be, like I said, 3 or 4 days before the first one comes through here. But so that'll be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They'll probably be here Tuesday or Wednesday. So you might have to come over here one night.
Well, if they come by through in the daytime, that's fine.
Yeah.
But after 7:30, I'm asleep.
Some of them will come through in the daytime and some of them come through night, because I remember when Laura was the chamber director, she called me and she said, "Big Daddy, I ain't getting up at 11 o'clock. They were coming through at 11 o'clock at night." So we put my boat in the water and we ran up the river till we met them up there by Chilatchy Creek. And Laura did an interview with them. So
we may have to do that.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I talked to the Miller's Ferry Powerhouse guys today and this is for tomorrow, September the 29th at Miller's Ferry. They got 3 units running from 1 p.m. till 8 p.m. At Jones Bluff, 3 units running from 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. The temperature in the rivers, and Shane, we checked them Saturday. In the river, they from 80 to 84 degrees, and in the sloughs, I saw some 79-degree weather, water, so I say 78 to 82 degrees in the sloughs. Is that about right, Shane?
That'd be safe. Yeah, it got a little sunny, so it warms up a couple of degrees. So.
Yeah, but the river was normal pool Saturday when I went.
It was
normal pool.
Well, it was low today.
Was it?
Yeah, and it was white capping in the river.
Oh yeah, that we ain't had no wind.
Wind blowing more. Ooh.
Sure ain't. But I did another podcast that'll be out next week with the director of the Nature Conservancy about the river reconnected. Mitch Reed's his name. Great guy, great information. I can't wait to put that one out next week. And he explains what they're going to do to try to get those fish back navigating up the river in the Cleveland Locking Dam and the Miller's Ferry Locking Dam. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar project. But he said they are spending multi-million dollars out west on one species of fish. And this gate that they're planning on building at Miller's Ferry Locking Dam, a gate or a bypass or whatever where those fish can get by that dam, is for multi-species of fish. So So we're gonna see. We're gonna keep up with it. But he is he bridged that gap between all us that was worried about the dams blowing up and what they really gonna do. So I can't wait to share that with y'all next week. The Alabama Wildlife Federation area cook-offs are be here for you know it. The one in Selma is October the 20th, which is a Thursday night. They are looking for cook teams and sponsors. If you're in the Selma area and want to help a great cause, Alabama Wildlife Federation cook-off, and also the Southwest Alabama Wildlife Federation cook-off will be in Grove Hill on November the 3rd. Cook teams are wanted. Joe Allen, everybody wants you to do a cook team. And I told him you ain't going to do it, but
I got to study hard on that. I tell you what, if Shane would go with me, I'll do it.
Yeah, you and Shane need to do it.
I ain't scared to cook. I love it. I like eating too.
What if y'all was to beat Team Tucker ATV?
Oh.
Woo!
It would get ugly.
Hey, the persimmons are still falling. We cut some up in Joe Allen's house the other day. We couldn't really tell. I think we had 2 forks and 2 spoons. But wasn't that what we had, Joe Allen?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we may try it one more time because it was pretty hard getting them things where you look good.
Yeah, thank God Travis was there with his big old strong self, and he.
Yeah.
But if you look at that bottom one down there, the spoon will fool you as a fork because all it's got is one split in the top of it, and it was a lady sent me one the other day, said it was a spoon. I looked at it close and sent this back to her, and I said I believe it was a fork, and she agreed with me that it was a fork, and that was Tina.
Well, the main thing they need that guide to go by, you know, that you show up. That's a good guide.
Oh, Bud Williamson's tuned in. The legendary Mr. Joe Allen Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Bud.
I got to get on here where I can see the comments. There it is.
Miss Dottie, your son is rodeoing this afternoon. We miss him too. Old Kevin, I tell you, he can bring a lot because we got some bass fishing to talk about.
I think this afternoon they shut down on it because I called Travis and they all shut down.
Mm-hmm. Well, that might be what he had to do, but he told me he was going to Livingston.
Well, he may have. I may be mistaken.
Team Fishmaster's in the house, Ryan. I checked that. Boy, you see that blue jig I used, that Fishmaster jig? It was tearing them little. It wasn't. I caught a bunch of little fish, but I kept 12 keepers with that jig.
Now, Ryan, I'm in here too, and I didn't get none. Big Daddy hogged them all up and went home with them.
Well, I'll share a few with you. But I tell
that
you what,
blue is strong over here, though.
Blue is Miller's Fair color, wouldn't you say, Shane?
Yeah, I learned that. You told me that, and I would hide yes using the blue. So they eat it. I mean, I ain't trying to hide what I use. I'm gonna show what I use here in a minute. So.
All right. Well, let's go. Before we get to the fishing report, I did put a couple of new videos up on the Crappie Hills Wildlife Facebook page. I ain't got but 122 subscribers, but there's some good stuff on there. Shane, we about to hit 1,000 on yours, ain't we?
Oh, well, we 30. Wow, how many? 34, 36? I can't remember. I'm 966 or whatever that is. 34. Yeah.
We need to hit 1,000. So if anybody listening tonight ain't went and subscribed to Shane Jones Fishing on YouTube, go do it right now.
Yes, please do. I'll try to share some stuff. Hopefully Richard's going to go with me this weekend, and I'll actually video him fishing, and you'll get to see exactly what we're doing because it's so hard for me to video it on my chest because I bend over so much, and people's going to be looking at the boat, and I'd rather sit there and show y'all play-by-play, what he's doing, and it may help somebody. So
that's important, what you just said, Shane. When you're in the boat, you can't do it all. You almost need a cameraman in the back.
Yeah, you do.
That
stuff. You do, because it's how you approach the fish and what the fish is, even if you're not live scoping, you want to know, hey, Richard's counting down to 4 or 5 and he's bringing it by this brush pile. And he hits a brush pile, he's killing it, or he snaps it, or whatever, whatever's making them fish bite. People want to know that. And, it's always something different.
Hey, what else they want to know, Shane, is and what you taught me is the difference between those carp and crappie. And
that's right. That's right.
that you taught me that, and I was showing Dennis Willett with me this weekend. We're gonna talk about this, but I you can see them carp swimming, and them crappie ain't gonna be swimming like that.
That's the thing. Hey, Eric taught me that a long time ago. Like when I first started, I'm throwing at every fish. I got carpal tunnel syndrome from throwing.
Yeah,
I'm throwing at everything that looks like a fish, and now I laugh. I don't laugh at people. I laugh with them, because when I learned, I was throwing at gizzard, shad, and brim, and carp, and everything else. Now I'm like, hey man, I just kind of laugh. Hey, that ain't no crappie. He's like, what?
And you just got to learn that's time on the water.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Todd Prater said he's writing a Selma Sun outdoor section today and tomorrow. Can't wait to see that, Todd. And he is going to subscribe to Shane.
Good. That's good. Hey, I appreciate all the support. So I want to grow this thing where we can really do hey, the whole scenario. Hey, this is what I'm looking at. Go over how I look at the maps. We'll talk about it when we go to that crappie stuff. So
yeah. All right, let's go to this week's fishing report. We'll start off with the catfishing. I do want to shout out to old Stacy Gaston and Smack Down Catfishing. He came on, did his show last night. I watched the whole thing. Great show. And, they caught the a state record Tennessee blue cat this weekend. 118 pounds and 7 ounces. And what did they have on the boat? A smackdown rod holder.
You got to hold a fish like that.
I guarantee you, he was so proud of it. And so, I was so proud of old Stacy and Smackdown Catfishing. Team Fishaholics won the Alabama Catfish Series tournament at Demopolis this weekend. They had a total of 69.3 pounds with the big fish 28.7. And I don't think did Travis and Rayleigh jug this weekend?
No, they had to do other stuff,
Well, be on the lookout on Shane Jones Fishing.
That's right.
For jugging video with Travis and Rayleigh.
We talked about it. We're gonna put one together whenever he tells me, hey man, they're doing good. We're gonna do it one day and just because a lot of people don't get to experience that, and heck, he knows what he's doing, so might as well make a video of it.
That's right.
He knows what he's doing. I've trained him well.
I got 2 sacks of catfish in that freezer from it. So.
and he's a good entertainer too.
Yeah, he's funny. Hey, I'm gonna have to bleep some stuff out, but it'll be good.
Definitely bleep some stuff out.
Yeah, it'll be.
All right, and Ryan said he may have to talk to Shane about being a sponsor. There you go, that fish.
Hey, you can tie me some jigs. I'll throw them.
All right, let's again. It looks like the rod and reels doing okay, but the jugging is still where it's at.
It is.
And the wind's going to be blowing.
It depends on, like I said, water is the key. When they pull in water, when they're not. And if they're not, use this wind to your advantage. Whether it be catfishing or crappie fishing, use the wind to your advantage. Mm-hmm. In catfishing, you need to put your jugs out where you take a long stretch of river that's dead north and south. You get that north wind pushing your jigs. Mm-hmm. And same way with whatever you're doing. Well, with crop fishing, it's the opposite. You got to have the wind to your face. You don't want to push on that. But catfishing, you want it pushing them jugs for you if there's no current. So that's bits up. And bait is a big key right now too. It's hard to get. You got to get out of them sloughs and use cast net and try to get all the shad you can right now. And that's the best thing to do. Find you some fresh shad and use the wind to your advantage.
But they are biting.
They bite.
You sure catch them.
Now, when they pull water, it's easy. It's on then.
All right, let's go to crappie fishing. We had a great crappie fishing. We're going to talk about that. First off, I want to congratulate Beth Ann and Gerald Overstreet for fishing in the Crappie Masters Championship. I think they came in second place in the adult youth division. But you talked to didn't you talk to the guy that won it, Shane?
Yeah. Hayden, and I think his daddy's name's Dan. They won the Crappie Masters National Championship this weekend. I talked to him, congratulated.
And he was using an 18-foot rod.
He told me he had an 18-foot prototype, and then he broke the tip on it. So he was scrambling, and he found a 12-foot tip rod that actually barely went on there, and he used it the whole tournament, catching them big old. I don't know what his biggest fish
How does
was.
he do that, Shane? How, with an 18-foot rod and live scope, walk us through that. How do you do that?
Well, basically, he's using it like an extension of his arm. You understand? Like, instead of me pitching out there 20 feet, he's using an extension of his arm. He's running his trolling motor wide open. And if that fish spooks and starts swimming, he's using it just like an arm, and he's following them with that transducer, and he's setting that bait right on their nose as they're swimming.
Uh-huh.
But if he's told me that he figured out he would go use the wind at his back, and the fish didn't know they were coming, so they would sit stationary instead of hearing his boat pop. So he had a real good interview with 3 Pound Fishing.
And he put something on the front of his boat to keep them waves from popping on it.
I've never seen one. It's called a silent stalker. It is a pad. They make them in Mississippi. Silent stalker. It's a pad that goes around the front and hooks to the front of the gunnel, and it quietens that slap. It looks like a little map. I've never heard of one till they've been out since 2014. So
I've heard of people doing what you're saying. They use paper machine felt. They
yes,
a piece of felt and do that.
That's getting serious.
I guess those fish have been pressured so much. They hear a little boat slap, they know what's coming. So
yeah. Well, I don't believe he could do that when me and you was fishing this weekend.
Ooh, man, he'd be in the water. But hey, he fishes Ross Burnett, and he fishes Ross Burnett, and it's full of stumps, and that's where he cut his teeth. And man, I think he told me he won 13 tournaments since January.
Yeah,
he's a stud. I mean, he's a nice kid too, man.
Young kid, 22 years old.
Yes, sir. Him and his dad, and man, if Eric Cagle brags on somebody multiple times, you better pay attention to him. So.
All right, let's talk about this weekend on Miller's Ferry. If somebody's coming this weekend, Shane, what would you tell them to do? Because you had 3 good weekends on Miller's Ferry.
The conditions going to change. The wind's going to be blowing out of the north. So hey, people don't understand. You still got to utilize maps. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million with electronics. You want to get some. You want to fish in the wind, of course, because you don't want to blow by them fish. But it's going to muddy some of the back of the creeks up. The ones that's facing, north and south. And that's what you want, a little color in the water, because we hadn't had any rain. So you want to study them maps and, hey, look at, what depth you want to catch the fish in, what wind direction is going to blow. I think it said northwest 10, 15 mile an hour. I don't know how bad the gusts are going to get, but I would definitely get me a blue-headed jig. That right there, if I can get it in there, that is a blue-headed jig with a bonehead little slim stick that I've cut. Look, I've cut a quarter inch off of it. Mm-hmm. It's a blue head. What's the name? It's K&L. Old Paul makes them. You can get them on eBay.
Yeah, I guarantee you, I put them up on my Facebook page, a link to where you can get them on eBay.
Hey, I've been catching fish on them for a month, I guess now, close to a month. And that head's about got all the paint missing off of it. But I would just, I'd pay attention, try to put you a pattern together and catch some fish and then go try to repeat it. That's the best thing to do.
Blue fish master I was fishing with Sunday. And I'm telling you, they were swallowing it, Shane. They were swallowing that jig.
Yeah, they're a lot of them fish, I didn't even set the hook. You see me just lean back and start reeling because they've got it. They're gone.
Now let's talk about the equipment, Shane. You have taught me so much in the last 3 weeks. You've cost me about $2,000.
Yeah, it gets that way.
The live scope on a pole is fine if you just fishing
brush piles.
It's fine.
Yes, it'll work. It'll work fine.
The way that you fish and the way that I like to fish now, chasing those fish down, you got to have more control over your motor. And that's why I have downgraded. I don't say downgraded, but I bought me a Fortrex foot control without all that iPilot and all that stuff. And I might be sorry, but I don't think I am going to be. But you got to control your live scope transducer and keep it on them fish when you're using your hand to throw them jigs at.
That's right. Well, it's to me, when it's on your trolling motor, I told you how you can feather that your foot. If you're not in the center of that fish, you can move your foot and cast to them. But over here, you're moving the pole, trying to get even with it. If the wind blows, then you got to readjust. It's just too much going on. I'd rather take my foot, just like running a piece of equipment, and get it lined up. It's bright. I shoot my jig out there. My jig's in line with that fish, and I see the fish react. That means I know I'm in there in that cone of that transducer. That's what you want. You got to have it all in line. It's just like, but I explained to you, it's just like shooting skeet to me. You'll get good at it. You know, I practice in the yard all the time. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm crazy, but I'm out there shooting at a solo cup or casting. I'm trying to get as accurate as I can with that jig because I want to make one cast and catch that fish. I don't want him to know I'm there. The boat's going to be there. I don't want any of that to happen. I don't want that fish to be educated at all.
All right, Joe Allen, you and Donna going to go this weekend. You know what Shane has been doing, chasing them crappie down. What are y'all going to do this weekend?
It's going to be a struggle with me and her because she don't like that at all. But I may have to go with her some minnows, and I may have to put me about 4 trolling rods and ease through there and then cast too. And that will work. We've done that before all this. You know, you got to have more baits in the water if you can't pinpoint that one bait, you know.
Yeah, I'll show you if you can. Y'all can see this on there.
Right.
You see that many fish on the stumps, you ain't going to have no trouble catching them. I caught 13 off of that stump right there.
Well, you know, when I first got my live scope, I told Big Daddy, when you find them stumps that look like an upside down light bulb, that's the ones you want.
I lit up like a 3-year-old. Man, I found over the past weekends, I found 3 or 4 stumps like that. And I showed Big Daddy that stump, and we couldn't get him to bite. And I caught 13 the previous weekend off of that one stump, and they were all big fish. But sometimes most of the time it's one fish, sometimes it's 2 fish. I seen one that had 3 on it, but man, by the time I catch one, I'm by myself. It's hard for me to get set up and not spook them off. But hopefully this weekend we'll be able to set up, and I'll be able to video it and get to watch the fish react to the bait. A lot of people's never seen that. So.
That's right. They like to see that. All right, Shane, now you've put up a post today that you have got a guide service.
Yes, sir. I've been doing a little bit of it. Yes,
and you got some openings. Tell everybody how they can get hook up with you, where you want.
They can message me, and we'll go back and forth. But then, you know, once you get my number, of course, that's the best way. That way it don't get lost in Facebook somewhere, and we can schedule something. Some people want to go catch fish. Some people want to learn live scope, and we can do either one. But I just hope to save somebody a lot of trouble of learning that live scope. You can cut that learning time way down. And, you know, somebody showed me, Eric Cagle, you know, like I said, in the past, I went out with him 2 or 3 times, and he cut my learning curve way down. And
you cut mine way down. You know,
well, you don't want people out there to get frustrated with fishing. I mean, fishing's supposed to be fun. That's why I quit bass fishing. Everybody gets mad. Because somebody's fishing their point and all that. Man, I don't get into all that. I'm going to go catch some fish.
And you need to add in there if they want a bed and breakfast.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're going to do that. Joe, that's right.
You can add that into your package.
That's right. If somebody's out of town, you know, that can't drive to Miller's Ferry, if they're North Alabama or out of state, you know, Joe's got a place. We're going to work something out where we might even have a whole package. We're cooking. You get the whole river experience. We're going to go catch some fish, clean them, and eat, you know, and you'll get the, you know, there's something special about being able to sit on that river and eat and, you know, and sleep and then go catch fish. It's just a spiritual thing to me. I enjoy it, and I don't take it for granted.
I agree. A spiritual thing. Ain't no doubt about it. Hey, Mark Cullen said he got some video of fish reacting to jigs. I want to see them, Mark. Send them to me.
He posted one. He posted one a while back in the spring. He showed me. He sure did. He does.
Yeah, I'd like to see him. I sure would. All right, let's go to bass fishing. Mason Green. I don't know what he's doing up there around Holy Ground up there on the Alabama River, but he's tearing them spot up there. And they had the Pride of the South out of Bridgeport landing, and Gabe Aldridge and Scott Canterbury, the 2019 BASS Angler of the Year, fished in it. But Rick and his wife, I reckon his wife, Sydney Sykes, won it with 14.45, and Gabe and Scott came in second with 12.88. So
I got to comment and say that Kevin hit the nail on the head with his predictions on the
he
weight.
sure did. He sure did.
He did.
He did last week.
He knew exactly what was going to happen.
And I don't know if y'all kept up with the controversy this weekend on the Bassmaster Open. I think
that's unreal.
Keith Prochet won it. He's a local Alabama boy. He fishes Miller's Ferry a lot. And somebody protested him because he was in an aluminum boat and he went up in some shallow areas. They couldn't get in them big fancy boats, and they protested, but I think he won the
what's
protest.
That? What's with that?
That's
he fishes out of that boat all year, so they really can't protest anything. It handicaps him, you know.
Downsize.
Yeah. He did it and he won it. And I think after the protest they gave it to him. So it wasn't, that was a done deal. But anyway, and little Owen Rouse, he caught a big old fish up in Dallas County private pond, a big bass this weekend. I don't know much about bass fishing, Joe Allen. If you're going bass fishing this weekend, what would you do? We need Kevin here.
I looked at the water today and it was low. It sucked you back out. I'm still this time of year gonna be in the river. I'm a river man, and fishing points and ledges and stumps with crankbaits, Carolina rigs and spinnerbaits until things change. And matter of fact, it ain't gonna be long till things change.
They changing now.
Yeah, I mean, we in the transition, and then they gonna go back in the sloughs and creeks in a few weeks, and they will be within 100 yards of where they're going to spawn this spring. So everything's shifting and changing. We in transition.
Well, if you're going, I don't know of any bass tournaments this weekend, but I notice a bunch of y'all be out here bass fishing. Be safe. That water's low, and they had an accident. I think it was on Lay Lake this weekend. Angler lost his life, and they said it was due to excessive speed.
Yeah,
and I tell you, those
we done talked about that.
But anyway, coming bass fishing on Miller's Ferry, just do what Joe Allen says do.
Well, I know I got one thing. I done talked to Jamie Averitt with Diamond Baits, and I told him I want to go with him and Kevin because Kevin can't never get enough good footage. And I'm going to sit in the back of the boat. All I'm going to do is run the GoPro with him and Kevin fishing.
Yeah.
And he said they fixed to get started. It's time when they start wearing them out. And I'm going to be the cameraman.
That's right. That'll work.
I said, Jamie, I'm going to get you and Kevin. I'm going to get some good footage because Kevin can't stand it. When they fishing, he's wanting to fish. He ain't worried about that camera.
Well, he's got some good. We got some pretty good footage right now, but it's getting old. It's getting old.
I'm gonna get some good footage with Jamie and Kevin.
All right, let's talk about the small game teal season ended Sunday. Some people had a good teal season, Joe Allen.
It ended with a bang.
Yeah,
and they all made me look like a fool. Talk about it wasn't as good as I thought. But I still think it should move it back a little bit, and because I heard a lot of banging the other weekend, and I think they did real good.
And I was sitting on my hole at Day Crack up there in G's Bend Sunday morning, and I heard a boat come through and didn't have no lights on. And it was the game warden slipping up there in the back of the G's Bend. So I hope everybody was legal.
They was legal. I watched them.
All right, dove season. It's still in, Joe Allen. You went this weekend. You and Boyd went. You and Todd did a dove cooking show that I got to edit and get out there. So far, dove season's been pretty good.
It's been excellent. And I can't give Rick Pipkin enough credit for the hunts he puts on. They are first class, and we hunted this weekend. Me and Boyd killed a bunch of doves, but we didn't jump out there like the young boys in the field. They went out right after lunch at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, them birds fly to 3:30, 4 o'clock. He said, I know it. So we sat there and we talked to Abe Cook there with him and his wife and enjoyed that a whole lot more than sitting there burning up that field that they started flying. But when they started, it was wide open.
Good.
I mean, there was several limits killed.
Well,
it was an excellent hunt.
Well, squirrel and rabbit. I hadn't heard of anybody squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting yet. It will be, I'm sure, when it cools off a little bit. But deer, they killed. Somebody ran over a huge buck at Possum Bin the other day. I reckon he was running over that Possum Bin feed and seed to get him one of them steaks, one of them ribeyes. Everybody's going.
I did see that deer you posted. That was a pretty deer.
Yeah, and I tell you this, y'all. It started. And every time I see it, it just makes me mad. If y'all are hunting, filling up them feeders, put them damn bags in your truck and anchor them down. I'm tired of seeing them blowing outside the road. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody does.
Well, I want to comment more on Possum Bin Sausages, and they have expanded huge.
They got a meat market now that's second to none.
And I'm glad to have that right here close to home.
Yep.
I can whip in there and get me a steak or get some.
They hand cut those steaks. They hand wrap those chicken swirls and those stuffed jalapeno peppers. They got a lot of stuff in there now, I'm telling you.
Well, they gonna hit a niche. They gonna excel in that.
Yeah, he's doing it. Larry is working the heck out of Park now. Hell, they got.
She needs to.
They got fresh tomatoes, fresh okra, and fresh squash in well, you might as well say October down there at Possum Bin.
So Park needs to go out and go to work instead of sitting there and talking to everybody in front.
And then they open on Sunday. That's a good thing about it. You
yeah.
Go down there on Sunday, brother. All right, Shane. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, like I said, a lot of people, don't message me, or they'll want to ask me questions, and I guess there's no such thing as a silly question, man, because they feel free to call me, message me. This is what I live for. I go to work where I can do this. So
and
like
we are
message me, call me. Hey,
we're gonna put together a Shane Jones seminar at Don Sports here for
I talked to Scott Mitchell about it. He uses the long rod where I use the short rod, so we both can give information. I'd like to do it, especially in the spring before everybody really starts going. But they feel free to call me, message me. Whatever. If they got questions, if I can help them, I like to see people catch fish. So.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Shane will do it. Now I guarantee you, he will share information with you.
If we do it over at Dunn Sports, I'll be out front cooking some crappie fillets while Shane's
yeah.
Hey, that's fine. I'll bring my boat, put it up there, show them how I'm feathering a trolling motor. I'll show them everything about it. Because like I said, just because people's not catching crappie, they think there's not a lot of crappie in the river. There's so many fish in that river.
Yeah.
Big Daddy will tell you. Once you find them, you find them. That's a healthy population. I throw back, 20, 30, 40 fish every time I go, that I could have kept. So there's a lot of fish.
You limit out usually before 1 o'clock every time you come.
Right. But like I said, I'm covering a lot of water, and that's what people don't realize. I'm not going to one spot and just sitting there and whacking them, catching them like you can sometimes in the fall. I'm covering a lot of water. So don't take it for granted, think I'm not working for them. So
yeah, you are. Ain't no doubt about that. All right, Joe Allen, Dunn Sports, what you got for sale? What's hot over there right now? Both stuff ought to be ready.
Coming in.
15 days.
We got bows, we got arrows, we got broadheads, we got it all. I had a truck come up today and back up and dump. I think it was $10,000 worth of boots now. Lacrosse boots. We got them everywhere. And Bubba said, "You ain't gonna sell all these boots." I said, "You do every year." So shut up.
Yeah.
So I need to get me some and get ready for this cold weather. I'm going out there with it. I was digging my honeycomb heater out the other day. Sometimes when it gets too cold, I'll dig it out. So I can't feel my hands.
Well, Dunn Sports in Thomasville stocked up. Appreciate everybody listening and supporting all my sponsors on the Getting Outdoors podcast. Shane, I thank you too, man. We got to put you on the payroll. All the information you giving us here.
Well, hey, man, I like to do this. Like I told y'all, it's not, I just like people catch fish. People run into me in the river and say, hey, man, I like that. Hey, buddy, you ain't hurting me. You see me, hey, wave, stop. Flag me down. Hey.
Well, you are building a heck of a fan base, and I want everybody once again to go to Shane Jones Fishing on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. And when you hit 1,000, you are going to give away a free all-day fishing trip.
Somebody's going to win it. We're either going to go to Demopolis or we're going to go to Miller's Ferry. I guess it'd be the person's choice. Heck, I ain't guaranteeing nothing, but hey, I can show them what I do. That's all I can guarantee. So.
Oh, Jason Domain's on here. How you doing, Jason?
Yeah.
He says like Jason Jones is a class act.
I like old Jason too. We all talk. There's several of us that that enjoy this crappie fishing, and we all talk and share information. I talk to John Fulmer every day. They just got back from the national championship. They struggled, but Lord, it was a lot of boats over there. So.
Yeah, it was.
But tell them that if they want that bed and breakfast,
that's exactly right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hook them up. Like I said,
strong.
Y'all need to go ahead and put a package together where we can put it out
we
there.
Get that. But if they really want to learn something, just hop. I know hopping in the boat and with Shane and going, that'd be good. But sit there that night and we eat a meal and talk about it.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly right. How, a lot of people want to know how I cut the bait down, how I cut the weed guard down, how I rig my stuff,
and how you bend that hook up. You got a little thing, how you bend that hook up.
That's right. Hey, I try to catch every one of them. I don't like them to come off. I get aggravated now. I sure do.
All right, we got to go. Thank you again, Shane. We'll
yes, sir.
Be back next weekend with a full rodeo report. And Shane, you coming back to Miller's Fair this weekend, but you going with
I may be. I'm on either Joe Allen's or upriver staying with a friend of mine, but I'm gonna be down there.
All right, 10-4. Joe Allen, thank you. I'll see you this weekend. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel. Hang on, Shane.
Yes, sir.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do